Welcome to SaaS Unlocked, the place where we get to hear from amazing entrepreneurs and innovators who are revolutionizing the way we build businesses. I'm your host, Chris Cowden, and I'm excited to talk with the co-founder and chief business development officer at Faireez, who's revolutionizing housekeeping. We're going to hear all about their mission, their solutions, their insights about the startup world. Today's guest is Ori Fingerer from Faireez, which was founded by real estate veterans and world-class entrepreneurs with one goal in mind: helping every person around the globe have access to better quality living through tech-driven solutions, which we're definitely going to talk about because that's where his background is firmly. So welcome to SaaS Unlocked, Ori.
Thank you so much, and I'm very impressed with the way you pronounce the company's name, my personal name. So great start. We're off to a great start, Chris.
But
Thank you.
thank you so much for spending this a small bit of time with me talking about your business and why you started it. So before we go into data, because I know that's something that we need to be talking about, what inspired you to begin Faireez, and how has it been since the last year?
Yeah, so to be very genuine, me and my co-founders, we had a list of few ideas that we had, and at the end of the day, what drove us to go after the fairies, the reinventing housekeeping um, venture was the fact that we felt that this is the most painful most painful problem out there that still was not solved up until now, 2023. So many complex problems were solved, and each and every one of us are spending over an hour every day, over 4 years throughout our lifetime on daily chores. It's quite shocking. We do not have anything more valuable than our time, right? We can spend time with our family, with our friends, with working, and we find ourselves still doing the dishes, doing the laundry, tidying. So we said, okay, we have to do something about it. And essentially the TAM, the target addressable market, is so huge because everyone has that need. Homes are getting dirty every day, so you need to solve it. So that's what drove us to go after this. After we did some analysis, turns out that there are a lot of similarities between the markets on how these are solved, how people actually get their cleaning services nowadays, and that there's a ton of things we can do to improve it using technology, using data, using new business models, and that's it.
Yeah. Uh, what when you were when you were talking about the vision behind this, all I was thinking about was, well, I need to eat, so uh, it's a convenience business. It's not house cleaning; it's convenience. Uh, you know, as an ex chef, everybody eats, so I'm going to be in work forever. Everybody has a house, so everybody needs it cleaned. So was that the big problem that you were trying to solve?
I think it's also about momentum and timing. And when we think about some of the learnings we have from COVID, and the changes that COVID drove, is that your home is essentially also becoming your workspace, right? The hybrid model, even if it's slowly changing, still many of the companies nowadays are letting their employees work from home. So it's not only that you're asleep and having fun and spending time with the family, but also now this is, for many of us, this is becoming also the place where we need to work. So we want to make sure that this is a nice and clean environment. And there are actually quite a bit surveys showing that a clean environment is impacting our mental state. It's not just, okay, it's clean, great, it's hygiene, but it's also a lot about how we feel, positivity. Uh,
Yeah,
so so the problems are quite clear. You have the time wastage. You have the fact that you want to be in a clean environment. And also these daily chores are among the top three drivers for divorce. So there's a Harvard research. I'm happy to share it, that this is a huge cause for people to break up, because the who does what type of arguments are big. So another reason why this is so painful and why we wanted to go after it.
Oh, it didn't even cross my mind that that is a big thing that, that causes divorce. The
Yeah.
way I clean the pans is not correct, and no, but thanks for even considering going in this route, the housekeeping route, and revolutionizing the business. What have you noticed that maybe your competitors were doing that you completely do not do and aren't focusing on?
So first of all, most of the players out there, they are B2C. They're focusing on the B2C play, whereby Faireez is a B2B2C. So we operate through the property management companies. We do not reach out directly to Joe or Suzanne, the tenant, the resident. We build partnerships with property management companies that would like to offer the most impactful amenities. And when you think about it, nowadays there are a ton of amenities that are offered, if it's dog walking, gym, pool. But I mean, no offense, I really believe that having a clean home will have perhaps a greater impact on your life than many of the other amenities that are there. So just going back to the comparison to some of the alternatives that are out there in the market, most of them are B2C. We're B2B2C. On top of that, there's a minimum. There's a minimum that you have to ask, meaning the cleaner will not come for less than 3-4 hours. It doesn't make financial sense. So what we do actually, is we took the hotel model, the hotel-like model, and we implemented in residential buildings. So we assign Faireez, that's how we call our amazing cleaners. We assign them to residential buildings, and we offer subscription-based packages to the residents. So Joe in apartment A could just want to have his dishes and laundry done, and it's going to take an hour. And then Frank at apartment 2 would like to have the full service, including tidying and have his full house organized, etc., etc. But eventually, we're able to complete the schedule for that ferry, so that she has enough demand. We centralize the demand, if you will. And the interesting piece is that even students or people that cannot afford at the moment to spend a large amount every month, they have now the ability to just do the laundry. So they can
Yeah,
spend a couple of $100 a month or $100 a month and have Faireez service them.
pay per task instead of pay for the
Exactly.
entire with
Exactly.
COVID and the change of budget and the increased living expenses. You can pay for what you can afford or what's of your most convenient. So I love that you've got the flexibility. What have you noticed have been some of the biggest challenges when you've been marketing Faireez, since you're going after a different type of buyer?
Yeah. So to be honest, when we go after, we basically, first of all, we profile the building. So we do not, stumble upon a random building. First of all, we want to make sure that we have the right type of residents in these buildings, meaning families that has the need. Because, when I was a bachelor or when I was a young couple with my wife, our life was completely different than now that we have 2 kids. Like every day in our family, every day ends with complete chaos. You have to have a cleaner. So we're targeting these type of families, or these buildings that are more family oriented, but also we're able to attract younger couples, or as I said, bachelors, bachelorettes, with different packages that are catering to their needs, and that's the beauty of it. As I said, you don't have to be, wealthy or to have a large family, because we can provide you a suitable package for your needs, even if you're, just one person in that household.
Yeah. How do you actually come up with the pricing structure with so many different things that they could purchase, cleaning the clothes or cleaning the entire apartment? How do you make that make sense for you at Faireez?
So what we actually do, we broke it down into SKUs in a sense, and we do not price by the hour. So we broke it down into a very clearly defined SKUs, and then you pay, as you said earlier, by the chore. You pay by the task. And we have our data and algorithms to support these models. I guess this is some of the secret ingredients that we will have some advantages in the market.
Yeah.
Because essentially we're not an operational company. We're a data-driven, tech-driven company.
Yeah. Yeah. And your past experience or your co-founder's past experience in real estate has just contributed to building Faireez because you've got the experience uh, and you've built that data over time.
So I actually started as I practiced as a real estate intern in a law firm in the real estate space, as I said. Um, so I'm very much acquainted with real estate. However, I think, since I did it 12, 13 years ago, technology and innovation got really deep into the real estate space on so many fronts, so many levels, because of essentially this is how we're going to be able to impact our everyday lives through innovation. And you can see residential living. I don't know how it is in the UK, but in the US, there is a very fierce competition between property management companies over the heart and the pocket of the residents. Um, because they simply want to provide you with a unique offering. It's not good enough just to offer you to live in a nice apartment, because the other building next to it also has a nice apartments to offer, right? So it's more of a package. It's a product, and we're now becoming an integral part of this offering um, that is attractive for residents.
Yeah, and even attractive for the landlords. They don't have to worry about the maintenance part of it. They can partner with you.
Not exactly, because the already exists in buildings for ages is cleaning for the common areas, right? The lobby, the corridors. We do not do that. We only service the residents.
Mm.
The interesting piece around the property management companies is that in their vision, in ours as well, and we're starting to see the numbers because we're already live for several months, is that we're able to reduce churn. So one of the biggest problems for property management companies is that you invest in an apartment and then you put in a resident with a rental agreement, right?
Yeah,
And then after 12 months, this family moves out, and then you need to reinvest because you need to furnish and you need to paint. Um, so it takes a large amount out of your out of last year's revenues are going now again to the same assets essentially. So we're able to reduce churn through providing a unique service to that resident.
yeah. So they don't
So
want to
that
move.
exactly. So again, it's let's not, we're a part of a holistic offering. It's not just us. It's us alongside some other services that are becoming a very lucrative kind of a package for
Yeah, you
residents.
just you're improving the experience for the renter. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, again, let's think about you, for example, because I don't want to be the textbook. How much time you spend a day on cleaning? I mean, I don't know if you have a cleaner, but
No, I didn't have a cleaner, and I clean about half it takes a bit of time, probably like half under half an hour. Let's say that.
Okay, so that's actually below average, but perhaps but it really has to do with your lifestyle. So maybe you're out of home most of the time, maybe you're eating out. It depends, it varies. But again, it just touches many of us.
Yeah, it's not a
Um,
thorough clean. It's okay. Well, my desk is clear, my room's clear. Can I get a quick wash in? You know, all of those, all that terrible stuff I don't like to do. So that's why we got Faireez.
yeah.
So this we focus on the product a little bit and the experience, and we're reducing the churn. What struggles did you have, or yeah, what struggles did you have before starting Faireez, before gathering the research, um, and on the funding journey?
So I think global economy nowadays is not at its best shape. Luckily for us, I think what put us in a better position with the fact that this is not our first venture, and we have an interesting track record, and it helped us raise funds, and eventually we were able to raise our pre-seed from some renowned investors. To be honest, probably the ones that we wanted the most, or at least some of the ones that we wanted the most, got in. But as every new venture, doing the research, understanding the challenges, developing the product that we're now just in still very early days. We launched already quite a few projects both in Israel and in the US, but it's still very early days. So it's all on us to prove. But we're optimistic because we're seeing really nice numbers from the in terms of the very low churn from our service. We see some very high subscription numbers, meaning people are the willingness to pay is high, and the average number that residents are willing to invest in cleaning services is really solid. So we have everything to be optimistic about. And now it's time to scale.
Yep.
So
When is the right time now that you've got the pre-seed and you've got the proof of concept and you're noticing with the data that it's going to get better and better and you can invest in technology? When is the next best time to then look for more investors, and then uh, why would you look for new investors?
so first of all, as a startup, I mean, it's kind of rare that you're self-funded so early on. So in the next 12 months, we will need to raise funds again. And we're strategizing also with that in mind, meaning we entered the US market to show the numbers. The US market is our go-to market. We're considering to open the UK one as well. We have some interesting opportunities there, but we want to bring the number to deliver the KPIs in the main market, which is the US. And we believe that with the timeline that we have in mind for fundraising, we also are starting to have the right kind of results um, in that market. So it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah. So what is your approach to fundraising? Would you consider crowdfunding, or is it yeah, what is your approach?
I think kind of the classic model of VCs. As I said, this is not our first company. In our previous one, we also raised some significant amounts, northern of $15 million. So we're pretty experienced, and this is the same environment essentially. We it just it's kind of the chicken and the egg. You show the numbers, you're able to raise funds. Of
Yeah.
course, again, the global economy is a factor, but we believe that the ones that are strong and also deliver, uh, you know, in the last few years, you had a lot of hot air type of businesses. And I'm saying it, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. It's just the reality was that many companies that had a good idea and a great presentation were able to raise significant amounts of money. And nowadays, I think the market balanced. The investors are looking for companies that are able to generate revenue from early days, and we're there. So I believe we have the type of company that could do it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you for just going to a little bit more detail there. And real estate, everybody knows real estate is an asset. So building a business around an asset that's going to grow as well. Yeah, I'm really excited with the future of Faireez, let's say that. And the UK, bring it on, because I don't feel like we have that technology in place yet. So that's really exciting for you. Um, with your previous startup, and I don't know your startup background, but are there any failures that you learned 10 years ago or 5 years ago when you had the other companies that you've now learned from and are using with Faireez to make it better, to not make those mistakes again?
So first of all, age. When we started our previous company, we were 27, 28, and we're now crossing the 40 mark. So you're just becoming a bit more experienced, knowledgeable, and wise, I guess. So that has a ton to do with this. Patience, perseverance. Many times you think it's the end of the road, it's gone, it's not gonna happen, and we learned the hard way that even when the tough times are there, you have the right team, you have the right support, you can achieve success. Whereby I see around sometimes companies are closing down before they really got the shot, because it's really more about the approach of not giving up. I think that's more important than anything else, to be honest. Many people has great ideas, but it's about execution, because you can have a great presentation, but at the end of the day, you need to deliver in the market. So I think perseverance and patience is some of the key insights that you need to follow.
Yeah, I agree. I'm 100% for that, and happy to make mistakes and own up to them and learn. That's what we're doing here right now in real time.
Exactly.
So, what advice would you have for other entrepreneurs that have those bold ideas, or everybody comes up with ideas, but how do you execute on them? What kind of advice would you have for other entrepreneurs that might be listening?
I think, when you look at the elements that can create success, are timing, meaning entering the market when there's the highest need and a suitable environment. So that's one. Make sure whatever space you're choosing, then that this is the right time, that you're not before time or already in a red ocean. And then on top of that, perhaps the most important one is team. You need to have a team that is complementary, people that are complementing one another in terms of the skill set, in terms of personality. One could be pessimistic, the other one must be optimistic, and vice versa. Realistic, also very important. So team, momentum, um, that's the best advice I have for new entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. So what for the future of housekeeping? What is the future of housekeeping? I'm really interested to know
Great.
what you're focusing on right now for the future. What are you optimistic about?
I'm optimistic that one day, which is not far from the eyes, housekeeping would be a service that every person or a very large percentage of the population in the main markets would have access to. I think nowadays it's more about having the right type of income because not everyone can afford it. And what we're trying to do in Faireez is really making it more accessible, increase the quality of the service, increase the lives of the professionals that are doing the work. We're providing them with much better salaries and compensation. We're training them, we're investing in them because essentially they are the most valuable resource and they are facing the customers. So I think for me, having a business that it has the right potential to become interesting from a business perspective, but also contributing to the social aspect of it is a great advantage. And the dream is to really live like in a hotel. So think about it. You wake up, you have someone coming in to take your garbage out. You have someone to do the dishes. You have someone to make sure that the house is organized when you start your day. And when you get home, you see the house is already tidied and clean. Really like a five-star hotel. And we're already doing it. We have plans that we're offering our customers, but it will only get better and healthier as we grow. So the dream is really just to make it very accessible to a much larger population.
Oh, I really like that. I really like hotel living. And why would you need to go anywhere else when you're in love with where you stay and you don't need to do any five-star travel when you've got a five-star home?
No, I don't encourage people to stay at home, but we can clean once they're out.
Yeah.
Because think about the think about a bit like the Uber era before and after. So before you had to literally call a taxi station and ask for someone to pick you up. Um, and you had little knowledge on when this driver will pick you up, how much it's going to cost. You had no ability to actually give feedback about the service you received. And nowadays, everything is done through a mobile app. So same here with Faireez. We built a mobile app that you're able to first of all order your package, to change it, to change the charges you like, to pay through it. You're ranking our Faireez. You have a customer support. So if for any reason a ferry cannot come, we are responsible to switch and to bring you a backup ferry. So we want to take that trouble off your head. We have enough troubles as human beings in 2023 to take care of. We want to take one off of your head.
Yeah. And I love that you're empowering and giving back to the cleaners and investing in them because they, like you said, are the face of the company and they're going to drive more business just through word of mouth. Or yeah, so I'm really excited that you're doing that, and oh, I'm really excited now for the future of Fairies when they've got great founders like you that actually care because yeah of your previous bachelor life and yeah I'm so happy for you that you created this
Thank you.
fantastic product. So we like to finish these podcast episodes off with some rapid fire questions, just to learn a little bit more about you and what drives you. So name one other company and CEO that inspires you, and why do they inspire you?
Oh, one CEO that inspires me. Wow. Um, Actually, I think, at the end of the day, I see many Israeli-based founders and CEOs, by the nature of me being Israeli. So I'm more into the ecosystem. I think it's gonna sound a bit perhaps strange, but I actually really look up to CEOs that are involved also in social aspects. So there are a ton of genius people and smart people with great ideas and great execution and great companies. but you have to stay humble and also take care of less fortunate people, take care of social challenges that are there. So I can name like 5 or 10 or 15 that exist. But at the end of the day, if I had to profile it, then that would be someone that cares more than just about his close circle, but rather also making an impact on society.
Yeah, yeah. The philanthropist that cares for everybody's needs. I like that.
Not just philanthropy. It's not necessarily had to do with money, but more about also setting up vehicles to help broader amounts of people.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. What's one of the best business advices you've received?
That no one will if you're gonna cry or if you're gonna think that if you're gonna complain, nobody's going to care. I mean, it's either that you're gonna make it happen with your peers, with the amazing partners you're building. But I mean, we live in a cynical world. Empathy is not going up, and I'm trying to, I'm saying it, and I'm also trying to teach my kids, and I'm very empathic, and I have nothing but love to my kids, of course. But I think essentially as business, like in terms of business, you either you do it or it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. I came to that realization this year and last year is that no one really cares, but it doesn't matter if nobody cares because as long as I care, yeah. But yeah, I 100% agree with you, and more people need to realize that we have to own everything that's happening in our lives so that we can help other people in theirs. So, what's one skill that has helped you become successful?
First of all, I don't think I'm successful is such a strong word. I think I had a lot of luck. I don't think I'm unique in many ways, to be honest. The only thing I have is that is unique is drive. I do not tend to give up. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter like in what space. It's not just business. I don't like to give up.
Yeah, I like
Uh,
that. What motivates you or drives you the most?
um, I guess my family. Uh, you have once you become a father, you have that sense of responsibility to drive forward, even in gloomy days. So that's one. On top of that, you need to have interesting life. So, startup is the most tiring and stressful way. But for me, it's much more fun and giving pleasure than to work in a large company and just do whatever you're told. So I want to own my destiny essentially
Yeah,
to as much as I can.
yeah, I like that very much. What movie or book or TV do you always go back to that has taught you the most?
Wow. I can't think of one. I mean, I'm reading one, Ray Dalio, right now. Who's a very renowned investor. But it's more business wise. I learned a lot on the business on a business level, but I don't think it inspires me. It just give you some interesting things you didn't think of. Um, Movies I watch mainly for for fun. And I'm reading mainly professional type of books. So at least in the last decade, I would say. So there's not one. I cannot mention one that's it.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for answering all the questions and just for being really transparent about your journey as a father, but also just talking a little bit more about what Fairies is and how it's revolutionizing the way we do business. I yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens to the future of Fairies, and good luck with hopefully getting more investors. But that's it for now. Until next time, SaaS Unlocked signing off.